I was with a group going to what's the name of the place? The Billy Goat Tavern and Grill. We walked in. There was nobody at the grill at first. I went over to get some beers. The others stayed to order food. After I got the beers, eventually, I came over, ordered food. I was the last to order. I was the first to get my order for some strange reason. I had just sitting down and started eating. The others were just starting to get their food. And there was a sign where it had not been taped or hung up in any way. It had merely been looked like it had merely been placed in the window. There were nothing on it to attach it to anything. One of the mass-produced Obama signs made in the millions during the campaign, and you see them everywhere. This one, however, had fallen back and was hanging in. One end was hanging on the window, the sill or whatever you call it, between the two panes of glass, the top and bottom. The other was hanging in some electrical wires. It was sort of in the way. Susie grabbed it and walked over and tossed it in the back of the restaurant. I don't believe she crumpled it. I did not hear her crumple it. I did not see her crumple it.
Did she say anything about the sign when she took it?
No, it was just it was an annoyance.
Right.
Could
she even see the picture of Obama on it?
She might have. The picture was horizontal. It was not vertical. It was not turned sideways. It was flat like this, approximately at eye level. I noticed immediately afterwards an extremely irate Hispanic female who took my order, walked over and looked, and grabbed it and went and grabbed who I assume was the owner, who was very, very irate, very, very threatening, very, very loud, very profane. Threatened her personally. I saw him reach to grab her. I did not see what actually happened because there were people in between the two of us. I did see him reach for her. I did hear Martin yelling at him not to touch her. And so it was obvious that obviously we did not feel welcome there. We did not feel safe there. He was very threatening, so we decided to leave. We got up and tried to walk out. He kept threatening her, threatening all of us, but her in particular.
What kind of threats?
He was going to have us all arrested. He had some cousin who was going to make sure we all paid and we all suffered. Some cousin he claimed was a captain in the police department. I think he might have said some relatives, or he might have been talking about the same relative that didn't exist in different positions. He was incoherent. He was not. There was no consistency between his threats and his statements. As we were leaving, I saw the Hispanic female place the picture in question on the table. The picture was flat. I did not see any damage. It had not been crushed. It had not been, certainly not been stomped on, and it was intact when we left. We continued walking on. Along the way, he kept trying to get to Susie. We kept interposing ourselves between them. He did not seem to be as eager to get physical with us as he was with her. Eventually, he kept screaming that he was screaming on the phone. We assumed, I don't know if it was to the cops or what. He kept screaming he wanted every cop, he wanted all the cops sent to us. He said first send a cop, then he said send all the cops. He kept going on about his cousin, who I think was I think he said captain at least I don't know, at least 4 or 5 times. He kept talking about the mass-produced Obama poster that we had supposedly destroyed being worth $250, $2,500. Then it was $500. It kept changing from moment to moment. There was no consistency in his claims. There was no consistency whatsoever from him other than hostility. He was very threatening, continued to threaten Susie in particular and us in general. Continued to try to reach for her, tried to get to her. We continued to put ourselves, the three males who were with us, we continued to put ourselves between her and him. After some time, we had one of the other people who had not been involved in the incident followed us later on. That was around the time the cops showed up. When the cops showed up, he continued ranting and raving. At first, things seemed to not be serious. The cops didn't seem to take this very seriously. Then a supervisor of some sort showed up. I think it was a sergeant, who was less than professional. He left with the person who made the complaint. They were gone quite a while. Eventually they came back. Before he left, he was saying this was just going to be this was, nothing major. He just left. He was gone quite a while. He came back.
Citation or something?
A citation. Okay. Then it changed to, I think he said something about a misdemeanor maybe when he came back. He came back saying there was bad news and bad news. He said the bad news was the owner, the apparent owner of the place was pressing charges, and the other bad news was that Susie was under arrest. I did not see them read her rights. I did not hear them read her rights. I saw them handcuff her and place her in the squad car. The individual who placed the complaint, who had not come back with the police officer or the supervisor, came back on his own and made taunting gestures towards us and Susie, and made gestures towards the police. That seemed, I hesitate to use the words conspiratorial, but he did the okay sign for them. They did not seem fazed by this in the least. The supervisor made direct, after, the supervisor who was in charge of things, upon learning we were from New York, made derogatory remarks about the NYPD and being corrupt. He did not seem to care for us for being from New York. I assume also for apparently not thinking much of Obama either. He made that, he did not say that, but he did not say anything about Obama, but I have very little doubt who he voted for. Can't prove that. Never mind. But he did state quite blatantly that New York, the NYPD, he had a low opinion of them, and he stated they were corrupt, and that Washington D.C. police, Metro Police, whatever, were not corrupt like the NYPD. I suppose I'm supposed to take him at his word. And then even then he said this was just a misdemeanor. She would just have to probably just have it would just be a ticket, and she probably wouldn't even have to go to court. But told us where the police station she was being taken to was. We went to the police station, and we learned that what he said and what happened had very little to do with each other. Apparently she was being held on the receptionist, who was not a police officer, said she was being held by on a charge of felonious destruction of property. We asked if we could see her. She said nobody can see anybody in there. She said she will not go back there. We went to the police station. I was told there we were not able to see her. We were not allowed to post bail. She would have to go to court in the morning. They stated that instead of a misdemeanor, she was being held on a felony destruction of property for a mass-produced poster printed in the millions that cost probably 10 cents. We asked to see the officer who made the arrest. He refused to come out. We were getting all this from they don't have police officers behind the desk. They have civilians. She was less than helpful. It was clear she just wanted us to leave. Didn't seem to think anything that was going on was strange. There was on our insistence, a uniformed officer came and told us pretty much the same thing. So we had to, so seeing that there was nothing more we could do, we decided to leave, and here we are.